Okay, welcome to another video by IU Arty Kids. So in this video we're going to be looking at the colour wheel. So this is a variation of the colour wheel that I have just designed on the computer and then photocopied onto a cartridge to make it a little bit thicker. So you would normally see a colour wheel with various rings inside, split into various triangles, but I've just done a variation of it. But the process and the layout is exactly the same. So I've got skulls on mine. Here we go. I'm using a little watercolour set today and a number 10 brush. So you can use whatever size brush is appropriate. Make sure you've got a little rag and you're cleaning your water regularly. And if you are mixing your colours, then have some sort of palette to mix them up with. Okay, so the colour wheel obviously was designed by Sir Isaac Newton and there was variations around that time, but Newton designed the colour wheel back in the 1700s following some experiments that he was doing with understanding how white light breaks up into its constituent wavelengths by shining it through a prism, and then from that he went on to design the orientation of the colour wheel and how colours have a relationship. So obviously we are well aware, or should be well aware, that there are different reflections on primary and secondary colours depending on if we're talking light or pigment or additive or subtractive. So we're going to be doing a basic pigmented colour wheel arrangement here. So I'm going to start with my primary colours. So I'm going to dive straight in with my yellow, and hopefully you should all out there know what makes primary colours so special is the fact that you cannot mix them. So we have to just take them straight from the tin in my case. So I'm going to put my yellow straight on the colour wheel and let's dive straight into it. Okay, so make sure with colour painting that you have enough water and paint mix so it glides nice and easy for you. So I'm going to spend too long on this just to show you the basics, and these little skulls that I've put on here around the outside are also going to be the same as the sections inside. So this is our yellow primary. So that little triangle is pointing at primary there. Just gonna make yourself comfortable always when you paint. I always paint towards myself using my grip near the tip just for detail, painting out to the corners. There we go. So I might go outside the lines a little bit because I'm going to rush this. Okay, so that's our first primary in. So our next primary is going to be our red. Again, not a mixable colour, so I'm going to put my red here. So you don't have to have a fancy designed colour wheel like this. You could just do it with blobs. You could even do it with felt tip or pencil crayon or M&Ms or different coloured foods making your colour wheel, or collage from a magazine, ripping different colours out. Okay, so that's my red primary in, and I'm going to put my red, pure red skull, which it's pointing to, in here. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my third primary in, which is blue. and then smudging. Going to paint my skull. Brushing this, so it's going to be the best one in the world. Oh dear, smudging all over the place. That's what you get for rushing. So I've got my 3 primary colours in there, yellow, blue and red. So, secondary colours. Hopefully you'll know that to make a secondary colour you mix 2 primary colours. So we're going to mix our yellow and red, and hopefully, yes, you know the answer to that one is going to be orange. So, I'm going to use my lid, get my yellow, I'm going to mix my red, not the best paints in the world, these are quite pink. Quite a muddy orange, that. Now I have got an orange in my palette, but you may well have as well. But I think it's good practice to learn about colour mixing. So I've painted in my orange, and then got my little skull that is pointing at it, which I'm also going to add in. There we go. So I've got my yellow primary and my red primary pointing to my orange, which is the 2 primaries mixed together, is a secondary. So next one, yellow and blue primaries on this side. So I've got so just clean my yellow, I want that. Mix that with my blue. So yellow and blue primary equals green. There we go. Okay. So yellow and blue primaries equals secondary green, and I'm going to paint my little skull around the outside green as well, pointing to it. I've done better colour wheels in my time, but just rushed done so you understand the basic principle. Okay, next one, red and blue. So let's get some red, which is quite a pinky red in this one, get some blue, and we get our final secondary, which is a purple. I'm going to do the skull. And it's pointing to. Okay, so what we have there is our primaries, which are unmixable, yellow, blue and red. We have our secondaries which are mixable from mixing two primaries. Yellow and blue equal green, yellow and red equal orange, and red and blue equal purple. So we've got these things left. I wonder what they could be for. I'll take a slab of tea. These are what we call our next door neighbour colours, our tertiary colours. And these are our in-between colours. So we have little gaps in between here. So this little gap here is halfway between a yellow and an orange. So this is going to be a yellowy orange. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean this green up because I need that clean. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up an orange using my red and my yellow, and I'm going to put more yellow in the mix. So this is going to be a yellow orange. So obviously we make orange with yellow and red, but in the mix I am adding more yellow than I am red. So you can see it's slightly lighter. So this is a yellow orange. Okay, this side of orange, this is going to be a red orange. So in my mix, I'm going to add more red in my orange. So it's still an orange, but it is a more red orange. So in there I have mixed up more red than yellow to get my red orange. Okay. Moving around the colour wheel, got our red and our purple. So in this one we're going to mix up our purple, which is blue and red, but we're going to add more red to the mix. So I'm going to take my blue and I'm going to put it, take my blue, and I'm going to put my red probably more onto my blue. So this is going to be more of a red orange. The camera will pick up those subtle differences. And on this side of our purple, this is going to be more of a blue purple. So that's going to be more blue. And there's a lot more violety blue there. I don't know if you can really pick that up on the colour. Yeah, it's very dark now on the bottom there. So there's more blue in the mix for this side, more red in the mix for this side. Okay, so we're into this side now. So start with our green, and in our green, I'm just going to have to clean my yellow again. We're going to have more yellow in our mix of our green. So mix of blue. So this is going to be a yellowy green. Still going to be green, but it's got more yellow in it, so I suppose it's going to be a bit sunnier. And then this side, I'm going to take my yellow, I'm going to put it on the blue. So there's going to be more blue in the green. So this is going to be a colder green, so useful for obviously extending your colour palette and understanding that difference between warm and cold colours. So in Henry Rousseau's famous jungle foliage paintings, he had 70-80 different variations of green. So you can see now how you could start to make all those variations. So there we go. So quickly done, but it's about the theory today. So 3 primary colours which can't be made. We've got yellow, blue and red. We've got our 3 secondary colours which are our green, orange and purple, made by mixing two primaries. And then we've got our in-between, our tertiaries, our next door neighbour colours, which are a variation using primaries and secondaries. Okay, so that's our basic colour wheel. So if you like what you see, thanks for watching, like and subscribe.